Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. I'm here to discuss with you, what do you think makes the ideal vacation or holiday watch? Thought that occurred to me when I was away last week. Had on my Casioak, which I picked up about a year ago. It's been with me now on 2 vacations. Before that, the watch I always brought with me was my Seiko Orange Monster that I've had for, at this point, for well over, I believe, a decade or so. So it's been on a lot of trips. But it got me thinking as I was wearing this, I didn't bring this one. What makes a good holiday watch? I keep in mind when I travel, I definitely don't travel with just one watch. Obviously, there's 2 on my wrist, and then there's usually about 3 or 4 extra. Generally an islander or whatever. I usually won't wear my beach watch, quote unquote, at night to nicer occasions, but you never know. So maybe that could be one of the criteria for what makes a great watch, especially if you're only going to bring one with you. So I broke it down into a bunch of different categories just to talk about briefly. And again, I'd love to hear what you think makes a good one. So comfort, you're going to be traveling, you're going to be doing activities, maybe more strenuous than you normally do at home. So comfort is probably paramount. So the Casio, I gotta say, lightweight. Yeah, it's a piece of plastic. It's super lightweight though. Comfortable, when you sweat, it doesn't really matter. The sweat just wicks away. It's really nice in that respect. The Monster, not lightweight. Very, man, I don't know how many times heavier than the Casio it is, but it's a couple of times heavier. You definitely feel it as you knock your wrist around. You feel it banging into your the back of your hand. Definitely very different feeling. You know it's there, whereas this you don't. So, I mean, really, for comfort, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, Seiko. I do like the Casio. I worked on a couple of different categories. Durability, reliability. I mean, they're both really, really durable, right? But let's face it, one's an automatic. Automatics are great up until the point when they break, as opposed to the Casio, which is, it's a G-Shock, right? So it's meant to be abused. Not just to the point where an automatic can be abused. You can, drop it from any height, step on it, expose it to anything. It's really not going to care. And when you're on vacation, if your watch dies, you're not going to go to a watchmaker to get it fixed. You're going to be without the watch for the duration of the trip. So like in the case of an automatic, I feel like there's a lot more at stake with an automatic, a lot more easier for them to break. So maybe a quartz watch might be the smarter choice. But again, there of course is no heart in an automatic. There's no heart in a quartz, automatic, nice ticking and everything. So a little bit fancier, a little bit nicer. Maybe you enjoy that. But personally for me, from a durability standpoint and reliability standpoint, definitely, I like the Casio better. You probably see where this is going, right? And while we're talking about reliability, we should definitely talk about power source. So automatic, right? You think perpetual, gonna run forever, just needs a little bit of winding on your wrist, gonna keep going. So that's good. Quartz watches, of course, run on a battery, and the last thing you want is a dead battery. Fortunately, this one is a solar. So as long as the sun is shining for some time in the last 6 months, the watch will continue to run. So I guess on that, on a power, on power reliability, they're probably on an even keel. Travelability. So this is a weird one, but traveling through the airport, you have to take your jewelry off generally if you're going through the X-ray machine. Take off all your metal. Yes, so I had to take this off. I have to take this off, but this is plastic. I don't necessarily have to take this off. It makes traveling a little bit easier. Another thing this was actually really interesting for me, and it didn't occur to me until it started happening. So we were on a cruise, and the boat maintained its own time zone when you went to a different port. So even though the port you were in was 1 hour ahead, the boat maintained what they called ship time. So the boat didn't change time. But because this is a freaking Bluetooth watch, when I turned on my phone and it sunk to St. Thomas time or St. Martin time or whatever, the Bluetooth functionality sunk the watch to the same time. Now granted, I could have turned off Bluetooth, but by the time I realized it, too late, and the watch had changed. So now I'm an hour off for everything, whereas, the nice mechanical or automatic analog watch, it has no idea, has no connection to anything, so it kept the correct time 100%. So I think that was an advantage of this watch, kind of a weird advantage, but I guess that can be said for anything, for changing time zones on a flight or anything. You know, you don't have to worry about your watch thinking it's smarter than you. You can control the dumbness of the automatic and keep it on the correct time. Fashion and looks, if this matters to you. Yellow plastic, even if it was the black plastic or the gray plastic, there's really nothing exciting happening. It's vibrant, it looks nice, definitely a good sports watch. Whereas the Monster, I would say, it looks good on its own as a sport watch. With an orange strap, yeah, maybe it's a little bit loud. But so what? You take a black nylon strap with you and switch it up, and now you've got something that's a little more subdued. Definitely a better looking is subjective, of course, but in my opinion, if I was going out to a nice dinner, I never wore this watch. I would always wear something a little bit nicer. Well, I'm still wearing two, but I feel like the Monster would be better, better suited for that. Even with the bright orange dial, it still looks really nice. And you dress it up with again, you don't want to be changing onto bracelets and stuff. I leave the bracelet at home for the Monster, but just pull off the nylon strap and just put on a different color like black, and there you go. You've got a really, really nice looking sport watch that doubles during the daytime as your sport watch, and at nighttime as quote unquote your dress watch. Versatility, usability and stuff like that. So water resistance, 200 meters, really no biggie there. You're not getting a big advantage of one over the other. But as far as the feature set, so you'd say, okay, well, the Seiko's got a cool dive bezel, so I can use that to time things. Well, that's really cool. But that's all you can do besides tell the time, day and date, is you can use it as, a 60-minute timer. Whereas something like this, something like the Casio, has got, it's got alarms. It's got a chronograph. It's got a timer. It's got the day. It's got the date. It's got a second time zone if you need it. Again, that could have come into play when I talked about before, but still, when the hands start moving on their own, you kind of go a little bit crazy. But I feel like the Casio, having all that functionality is probably more useful when you're out. Yeah, sure. A lot of times we use our phones for our alarms, but it's nice having a backup alarm as it is in your watch. You could time things. You could elapse, chronograph stuff. You use your stopwatch for different things. Again, just more versatility and stuff in there. So those are all of the things that I kind of wrapped up into a great travel watch. And after I came back and I thought about it, I was like, wow, I really want to travel with this more. I really enjoyed it. It did its job, no problem. Easy to read. Even has a light built into it. Not that I'm saying that you run out and buy a Casio because it's a great watch. It is a great watch, but I think for travel, it just, I don't know, it does so much. And it's comfortable, it's lightweight, you're not worried about it. I wrote down safety briefly, because I know some people are all about safety. Is this too blingy where the steel picks up and someone's gonna think it's something nice? Well, it is something nice, right? But someone's gonna think it's something that it isn't and try to rip it off your wrist? Possible. Someone looking at this and they're thinking, I'm gonna rob that guy for his Casio. Probably not. So with safety, this would be another one too. But that's all I got. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com talking about what makes a great travel watch. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Let me know what you think and what do you travel with. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Put your input down below. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.